Well, Rachel and Garrett
No
are joining
place.
us
Did they
on
get that
Zoom
from, like,
from
Aiden
Pennsylvania. And
Ross?
I understand your sister and brother-in-law
They do not
moved
know what
in,
that means.
and you're
Does
hoping
not
to
mean
save
like a
money
glazed donut.
to have a second child.
That's right. Hi, Oprah. Hi, Madam Vice President. It's nice to be with you all.
Yes.
Hi.
And so, what did you want to say to the Vice President?
That is so funny.
So, Madam Vice President, we are, like many, many young Americans, just experiencing a very high cost of living. We ended up giving up our apartment, moving in with our parents, who were so gracious to take us in for over a year so that we could save money and ultimately buy a home, because that's what we thought the American dream was, to get married and buy a home and have a baby. And now here we are, and our mortgage is incredibly higher than what we thought it would be. And my sister and our brother-in-law are living with us right now so that they can hopefully one day do the same. And while it's beneficial for us because they help us pay off some of our mortgage, it's also beneficial for them because they can save on cheaper rent. But we really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah,
It's actually
first of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is
this is the debate
a
moderator
story I
should
hear
ask
around
stuff like
the
this.
country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family.
And another adjective.
And
hopes.
working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been.
Okay.
And we need to deal with that.
Okay.
And there are a number of ways. One is bringing down the cost of everyday necessities, including groceries. So that's why I'm taking on, for example, price gouging. Which is when, you know, most companies and corporations are good, but for those bad ones, they take advantage of people, especially during a pandemic or extreme weather, and they end up jacking up prices, and there needs to be accountability and consequence for that. So I'm going to be taking on price gouging. But it's also about dealing with what we need to do around home ownership, right? So as someone mentioned during this film,
that was such a mistake.
Look, I grew up a child of a mother who worked very hard. She raised me and my sister, and she saved up, and by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy a home. And we grew up actually for a long time in an apartment on top of a child care center that was owned by the woman we called our second mother because she helped my mother raise us.
So she was
and
a
she
teenager
was a small
and she had a
business
home.
owner,
This is
Miss
the
Shelton.
worst answer I ever heard.
So I'll bring all this together to tell you the way I think about it is, one, when people work hard and have a dream of buying a home, we should give you the opportunity to be able to do that, which is why part of my plan is for first-time homeowners, buyers, to have a $25,000 down payment assistance to buy your first home. Because people just need to be able to get their foot in the door, and then you'll do the hard work. Part of my plan is what we need to do to support small businesses, because my second mother was a small business owner, and I love our small businesses and our small business owners. They are not only business leaders, they are community leaders. They mentor, they hire locally, and we have so many entrepreneurs in our country who have great ideas, incredible work ethic, but not necessarily access to capital, because not everybody, like my opponent, was handed $400 million on a silver plate that he filed bankruptcy 6 times on. And so part of my plan is to give startup small businesses a $50,000 tax deduction to start up their small business. Right now it's $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000.
Trump.
So that's part of my plan.
That's a teeny tiny business.
That was the worst answer.
Teeny tiny business.
That was crazy bad. Trump answered that question bad. He does a way better job than
you know where I'm going.
Price gouging?
That's right. And
it's still on paper with the $5,000.
And her teenage, I think she was home with her mom maybe, or teenage mom could buy a home.
To speak to you guys and your family and your dreams is what we need to do around giving middle-class families tax breaks. And so part of my plan is also to extend and expand the child tax credit to $6,000 so that you can, in the first year of your child's life, have the resources to be able to buy a crib and a car seat and clothes for your baby, knowing that's such an extraordinarily important time in their development, and you shouldn't have to worry about how you're going to take care of their basic needs. All of this and more is part of what I plan to build, and I call it an opportunity economy. And it's basically about creating opportunities, knowing so many people have the ambition, have the aspirations, are working hard, but just need
the dream,
opportunity to reach their goals and their dreams.
I saw you smiling with that $25,000 credit for the home. I saw that smile on your face and the $6,000. Thank you all so much. I want to just introduce to Shelby, who's also in our virtual audience. Thank you guys. Shelby from Virginia.
That was such an unserious answer. That is, for that couple, that's the biggest issue.
Story,
that's like their entire world, that question. And they just got gobbledygook.
I'm 24 years old. I'm a graduate student living with my parents, and I want to move out next year and potentially buy a home. And I'm concerned about the affordability of one with the extra costs and bills I'm paying now, along with the bills and costs I will pay in the future too.
Let's go.
And so
everything
just has a cost, and everything is so expensive. And so I'm worried about my capacity and how I'm able to fully support myself once I do live independently.
You sound like one of my daughter girls from South
This is so
Africa.
much better than the ABC debate already.
I hate adulting.
They just talked about the luxury issues that people,
adulting isn't going so well.
That own homes.
Well, so first
and have
of all,
all their basic needs
congratulations
met.
on all the success you've already achieved.
Other things.
And it is your story and the story of our friends before you is really, that's the American story, right? You are working hard, you have goals, you have ambitions. And so part of it is, again, the $25,000 down payment assistance. Part of it is what we need to do to also push back against a very different vision for our country. Because look, in this election, there are two very different visions for our country. One, for me, that is focused on the future, including you, and another that is focused on the past. What Donald Trump, what my opponent plans on doing for the economy is doing what he did the last time he was president and giving another tax break for billionaires and the biggest corporations that would add $5 trillion to our deficit.
And
get this.
You think she cares about this?
Doing what I call a Trump sales tax, which is
this is an answer for a boomer that watches CNN.
He's going to put a 20% tax on everyday necessities that economists have estimated will cost the average American $4,000 more a year, which is why Goldman Sachs, which is why Moody's, which is why Wharton School of Business, which is why 16 Nobel laureates have collectively
agree with me.
determined, after analyzing our plans, one, mine would strengthen the economy, his would weaken it. Two, that on his plan, he would actually blow up inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. So when you think about the cost of living, my approach is about lifting you up. His would be about actually weakening our economy. And I feel very strongly when an individual, when a small business, when a family, when the middle class is strong, America is strong.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Thank you, Shelby. Thank you, Rachel
atrocious.
and Garrett.
That was worse than the other answer.
So
you didn't answer anything about what she said. She wants a house.
Fighting for reproductive freedom
She's
bus
living with her
tour
parents.
to support
my goodness.
fundamental right for women